Um, it is our time again, 3 p.m. on Saturday. We always bring to you important information for the time being. Right now, obviously, we're in tax. Everybody is kind of geared towards filing their taxes, right? You're collecting paper and you're expecting what to come into the mail. And I'm pretty sure you're more diligent to your mailbox these days than ever because you're looking for tax document. A lot of tax document is also online, folks. Don't forget, if you're waiting for 1099-B and thinking, oh, it's not here, just go online portal and go to tax report. You will see that too. But today's topic we're talking about is the 1040 filing for those folks who are doing it themselves. So what do you need to know for year of 2023? So let me lead you through what we want to talk about. And just before that, give me 1 or 2 minutes. I just want to introduce our firm to you. So we have more than 20 years practice history. That means the firm has been on the market for 26 years and more. And then our team members speak more than 10 different languages, and we serve more than 10,000 clients. I say that to you is because we're just so special, and you don't find another CPA firm out there who speaks so many languages under one roof. But we do, because when we hire our folks and we treat the second language as an asset, we welcome people who speak another language to become a team member of Community CPA. So that is how we gather all these languages, and these are asset to us, right? We want to know those languages, and we want to be able to reach out to the population out there who are doing well and doing great, but yet couldn't find a place where they can feel like be at home. So we have, and as a result, we have 4 different branches in our firm. We just started getting our Houston, Texas branch in place. Our Houston, Texas will be our number 5 branches, and it will start on June 1st, 2024. And we have 2 branches in Iowa, 1 in Minnesota and 1 in California. So like myself, I'm the CEO. My name is Ying, and I served on National Taxpayer Advocacy Panel, and which is the Federal Advisory Committee provide advices to IRS for 3 years. And I also wrote 2 books, right? I wrote 2 books on Amazon. If you search Appointment with Ying at 8 a.m., 10 a.m., these 2 books are out there. 8 a.m. is all about how to start your business. That book tells you how everyone else start the business. My clients, myself, and anybody I know. And the story represents certain angles, and I put that in the book. So you can get a real feel of who actually it is, who is actually starting business in what way. So if you say, well, I know someone, and he had a criminal background, he had a bad history, but he had a business, and can he start a business? Yes, he can. So that book talk about that. What about 10 a.m. is growing your business? So having a business, get 1 employees, and make a couple clients happy, and do your business easy, easy. But to grow, to make it big, is a challenge. So we have that book on the internet and for you to read. And I am writing a 3rd book. It's 2 p.m. That is about expanding business outside of yourself. So that is what I am doing, and that is what my clients are doing, and that is what I put on the book for you to read, so you can be just like us, right? At our firm, we actually have this list of partners. You can you can see, I'll show you. And these partners, and you can actually get online. You can get online to look into our time, our calendars, and knowing where we are specialized, and then you can book our time. And you can go into, for example, if you speak Spanish and you like to understand Spanish side of tax, audit, accounting, Song is our partner, and he actually, if you click him on the internet, and you will see that his schedule coming up, and everyone except myself and Dr. Hao, and every of our other partners offers 30 minutes free consultation, so you can really book their time. With that said, I want to, this is the 2 books I was talking about earlier to you. Then let's just go into what we need to talk about today. No responsibility disclaimer. I need to make sure I got a second over here and you understand to, consider your, how you use the knowledge accordingly, and don't just blindly believe everything you see on the internet. Internet is not the IRS website. So if you go to irs.gov, yes, you can rely everything on that website. So the sources information you rely on is really important, right? You obviously can rely on community CPA. We provide service and we charge a fee for service. That is also a commitment for the service we provide to you. We take responsibility, right? So that is how it works in the commerce world. And considering, so now I'm going to talk about things that is related to your do-it-yourself filing. And when you do 1040 yourself and consider the changes that coming through in 2023 in your own life, can you believe that we even have clients coming to do amendment with us because they forgot they got a new baby in those years. I don't remember which year, maybe it was 2021. So they got a new baby, but when they filed 2021 on their TurboTax, they completely forgot they have a child. And I am so sure that child didn't bring any trouble to them, so they just forgot about it because the child was just too easy. But those are the things. It is, you think it's not possible to happen to you. It happens to everyone. So you want to be aware of your job change. If you change the job, that probably means you're gonna owe taxes in 2023, because when you start another job, they withhold taxes less for you. And they think that you just started a job for the year. So with that said, you may be owing more taxes. So you want to be careful with that. And of course, if you got baby, married, divorced, or someone died, you got a whole bunch of payment, and whether those are taxable or not, those are the things. Those are we call changes, right? It's not avoidable. It's just gonna be with you sooner or later. But in 2023, what happened? You need to know. If you have a business closed, and don't walk away from the closure, ladies and gentlemen. I have a client closed the business, and the business has so much loss, and it's really not worth of doing it anymore. So they closed it, and this is a type of business that the loss they have actually can be used to against W-2. So their W-2 income was $350,000, both husband and wife combined. The business closure they had, which they forgot. The only reason I mentioned that is because I don't want you to forget, because they closed their the company and had about $250,000 loss that they could bring into Schedule D under section of 1244. And without doing that, they lost the deduction. They could have subtracted 250,000, 100,000 out of the 250,000 against the W-2 income. So they would have paid less taxes, a whole lot less, about $32,000 less. But they did not know they could do anything about that. So business closure is a big deal. Don't lose your opportunity to look at whether you should have a deduction. And the changes in business activity is also an opportunity. If you have a change in business, for example, you may decide that the business should be going on cash method versus accrual, and you have that on your Schedule C, and you did it in a certain way in the past, now you're doing it another way. So all of these things, even if you felt like it's not related to taxes, I will tell you there is nothing not related to taxes. Everything from you are born to you die, everything you're talking about is related to taxes. You give me an example, challenge me, give me an example of something you do has nothing to do with the taxes. There's none. Okay, you may say that, well, I take supplements, that has nothing to do with taxes. Of course it has something to do with taxes. It just depends on how much money you spend on supplement, right? And that could be part of your Schedule A. That could be, who knows? Maybe you're taking supplement because you're selling it. So we want to make sure that you are not really deducting that outside of your cost of goods sold, because you are consuming that yourself and you shouldn't be reducing your cost of goods sold. So of course, related to your taxes, it's going to increase your tax. Certain things happen, right? New retirement contributions. So those retirement contributions you have in 2023, just be aware. And you do have this annual total amount you can go over. If you do, you are in violation of over contributing. So that would be generating your penalty. So the retirement things, what did you do? And you want to have a good understanding. Income from your rental properties and from your investment, those are things you should look. And so if you become a day trader in 2023, so maybe mark to market is your thing. So you see how many things that we can just coming through saying that consider changes in your 2023. Tuition fee and a tax credit. Did you fix your windows in 2023? So those are the things you want to consider. And other than consider the changes, and then the next thing I want to mention to you is that to do proper documentation for your taxes. A lot of time, more and more documents are online. So one of our clients several years ago, and she actually come to us because she had a IRS notice. So we need to look at how she filed her taxes on TurboTax. So she did it online. And so by the time she realized, oh, you need my taxes? Okay, I go get it. It's online, so I'm going to download and send to you. So when she went back to her login and online, it was no longer there. Maybe she never saved it, or maybe she just didn't find it. So whatever happened, it's just not in her possession. It's like online. So don't trust things online by third party, and you want to make sure that you get your documentation together, save it in your own place, maybe your hard drive on your computer, and or maybe a disk, a thumb drive you can save it in. So just make sure that you got your documentation really properly stored. And when you want to include a new dependent, your new baby in your tax return, you want to make sure that the social security numbers is right, and then you have all of your proofs of the kid going to daycare expenses. So you have all these documentation to apply for daycare expense tax credit. You want to claim your child tax credit, you need to have their social security number. So all of that is important, right? What if you lost your social security number and of your child, and you just remember the number but you don't know what exactly that is? Then at this time, before you file taxes, you need to go to Social Security Administration to figure that out. But don't just say that, I guess it's this number, so let's just use this number, because if it is wrong, it's a whole lot of issue because someone else might have that number, right? Just to make sure you send those information in a secure place, or if you are preparing taxes with us, with other CPA firms, you send it to us in the organized way, and we also keep that for you. So at Community CPA, our storage room is unlimited. So that means since 1998, if you have done business with us from that time, and we actually, from 1998 to 2007, this period, all the documents were actually scanned in our database on 2027. So since 2027, we have not stored anything on paper. Everything is in our secured data space. So we actually keep them forever. So if you're thinking, oh, I don't know how to keep them, and I can have Community CPA keep for us, we are already 26 years in here, so I don't think we close in next 26 years. So you can trust us to save your document here. And your other CPA the same. So you can make sure that they're here for a long run. They're just not, I would not go to put your lifelong documentation to a place that just opened last year. So that is too short of time to prove the legitimacy and the legacy of the place. You just want to rely on some company has been out there in the public and being active for a long time, as long as possible. Of course, nobody gonna work for forever, community CPA, me, Ying, I'm not going to work forever, but the firm will go on. So that would be a promise for you. With that said, I also want to, so we talked about you want to know your changes, you want to know your document, and I also want you to be aware of pass-through entities. Pass-through entities are those companies who finish their tax return, they give you a piece of paper, right? So for example, you get K1 from your partnership, or maybe you bought some mutual funds out there, and then it's also a fraction of a partnership. You got a K1 from some places you don't even know what they are. And so all of these things, we call them pass-through entities. And you want to make sure that you got hold of all of them. And if it is a business you are running and it is 1120S, S corporation, then obviously you know that's your pass-through entity. But what about the ones that you invested out there and you're not consciously, daily, all the time involved with them? You still need to know like how many K1s that you're waiting. Other than that, the 1099s, right? The 1099s are actually the 1099 NEC, like if you are a contractor for somebody and they send you the 1099 NEC, that one is due at the end of January, you should already have it. 1099 DIV, dividend, if you have a C corporation or someone has a C corporation, but you are the shareholder, then you get a dividend distribution if you are running well. Of course, 1099 interest, 1099 miscellaneous income, those are miscellaneous income, right? The income that coming from the rent, coming from you taking care of a sick person, there's a medical payment in there. So those are the things, and you will see it from a third party, and that is passed through to you, and you want to be really aware of that. Then what else is like important? If you are a Schedule C filer, if you are a sole proprietor business and did not elect to be taxed as a different entity, and most time you file Schedule C under your 1040. So that is what you need to get prepared. You need to understand your income, your expenses, and what you claim, because Schedule C has the highest audit rate compared to other businesses, because it is a schedule that made it really easy for any entrepreneurs to do. And you can start as a Schedule C, see how well you do, and then you can grow that into a serious business, right? So just be really aware of Schedule C is have the highest audit rate. And understand tax credit is also critical. I'm just gonna mention a couple of tax credit you should keep in mind. Energy efficiency home improvement credit. If you make a qualified energy efficiency improvements to your home after January the 1st, 2023, which means it has to be happening last year, and you qualify for tax credit up to $3,200. So tax credit, you understand what I mean by that. Tax credit is not deduction, right? Deduction is like reversing your income. If your Schedule C lose $3,200, that $3,200 only offset your income. So your taxable income is reduced. But $3,200 in the energy efficient home improvement credit, from this standpoint of view, it is actually the tax amount they are reducing. So you can claim the credit for improvement made through 2032 right now. So for right now, for your 2023, if you change your window in your home, and it doesn't matter how much you spend, the tax credit is up to $3,200. Clean vehicle credit, right? Tesla's credit, and this is the $7,500 famous. You buy a plug-in vehicle, and in 2023 and after, then you will have this credit. So clean vehicle credit, make sure that you are aware of that. I see a lot more Tesla running on the street, so I know, that's how I think. When I see the car running on the street, all I see is $7,500 floating in the air, and that's the tax credit going on, right? You can count on how many tax credits on the street while you're driving. Earned income tax credit, a lot of people know about that. For 2023, the maximum earned income tax credit amount are $6,000, $3,995, $6,604, and $7,430. So, just to impress you, and you could qualify for as little as $600, as much as $7,430. These dollars are literally solid money into your pocket, even if it is earned income tax credit. So that means you make very little money and you have all of this dependent, so you need this money. So that's a credit. Some taxpayer enjoys it. And child tax credit is also a thing. And this year, the maximum for 2023 is $2,000 per children. And for out of the $2,000, the only, for the refundable portion of the credit, and you may receive up to $1,600 per qualified child. What I mean by saying that, let's say if you file taxes and you need to pay $400 taxes. When you add your child tax credit, and you will reverse that $400, so $400 you don't need to pay anymore, and then you get $1,600. Does that make sense? So a portion of that $1,600 is what they call the refundable, means you don't have to offset your tax liability. If you don't have tax to offset anymore, they just give you $1,600. So the maximum is $2,000. Education credit is another one, folks. If you remember this famous $2,000 per tax return one, that's a lifetime learning credit. Tuition and the related expense paid for eligible students. Okay, and these are the other one is American Opportunity Tax Credit. That's a $2,500 per eligible student. So make sure that you know these things. So if you felt like you are qualified, you can do a little bit more study on that. But these are credit available to you. Okay. With that said, and one on the tax credit side, I think those are the things I want to mention. So we already kind of gone through. The one that I particularly want you to remember is that energy credit, and also Tesla clean car plug-in clean vehicle credit. Then you have our long time earned income tax credit, child tax credit, those are normal ones. And then you have American Opportunity Tax Credit and lifetime learning credit. Okay, so those are tax credit that we know to mention to you. And the one other thing I want to particularly bring up, because it's effective in 2023, and if you do 1040 on your own, you want to know this cryptocurrency reporting thing. So what that means is, of course, the Infrastructure Act is really giving to those big boys. They're the one that doing these brokerage firms, and they're big players out there. But as an individual taxpayer, and I want you to realize what happened is the government is regulating these cryptocurrency platform to have them track on transactions starting from January the 1st, 2023. You might already have these what they called 1099B reporting from 2022, but that was not regulated. It was voluntarily, whoever cryptocurrency like Coinbase people, they already doing that. But the real starting point is actually January the 1st, 2023. So in 2023, right now in 2024, we should be receiving 1099B 2023 from your cryptocurrency platform, whatever that may be, and they are acting as a brokerage firm, just like Ameritrade, just like the regular Robinhood, all of these people, and you are familiar with because you're trading stock on there. But if you don't trade stock, you're actually doing cryptocurrency transaction there, and you're moving money from your wallet to another wallet, and all of these transactions you are moving around, selling and buying, that is treated as a cash and is being recorded as transactions. You should be getting a report called 1099B. So that is new, and you may not receiving that yet because the reporting due date is February the 15th. So you don't want to rush to do your taxes, ladies and gentlemen. You want to wait until you got everything, okay? You will you will notice the cryptocurrency reporting start getting to be more looking like a stock. So that would be a general impression you would have from the user standpoint, okay? And the Infrastructure Act extends the definition of broker to any person. The broker definition for cryptocurrency purposes, they extended that definition to any person who is responsible for regularly providing any service affecting transfers of digital asset on behalf of another person. So now, that included everyone who has a platform like Coinbase. When they providing service to transfer digital asset on your behalf, they need to give you a 1099B, right? So if you don't get it, just ask, because you should. And the other thing I want to bring to your attention when you do your 1040, be aware of 1099K. If you are selling things on eBay and Etsy, so you may get this 1099K shows how much money you made on the platform. The thing is, the 1099K you are getting is not necessarily the money you received, because they already took the commission charges, everything out of you. So you might be receiving $5 back, but your 1099K gonna be showing more than $5. So just be aware of that. And I know there's a 600 threshold for payment online to report the payment on the form 1099K, and that it has been actually delayed, delayed for the tax year 2023. But a lot of vendors, a lot of platform operators, they already put in place of that. So you will get it anyway. So if you are in a situation, you are like, I did something online, really don't know where I even to call to figure out where's my 1099K. In this case, what do I do? And I recommend it to our client that at our firm, we offer this service called, it's called a data match service. So what we do is we have our client file extension for 2023. So in the summer, we know most of the third-party reporting to IRS are completed, and that we know that the data at the government is a lot more complete. Then we go in to request for your data, for all the data that related to your social security number or related to your business EIN number. Because the way the reason we're doing that, because we want to see whatever IRS have received under your name. So we call that data match service, and we provide that service to our client. So if you subscribe that service with us, so what we do is we actually would get a report from IRS, shows what you have, and then if you have a 1099K you think you're gonna get and you didn't get, it will show up there. A lot of times our taxpayer didn't get anything in the mail, maybe because they moved or whatever happened, they didn't get it, but IRS has it. So after they file taxes, what happened? The CP 2000 will come in. A big long notice will come in saying that you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. This is the charge and the penalty, right? So you want to avoid that, because those are mistakes you can proactively fix. You don't have to submit your tax return without knowing everything is here. So if you're doing it yourself, and you can literally go on IRS website to request for your income data. So yes, it is a work, but at least you know that you can prevent yourself getting audited, right? So with that said, and I want to talk to you about the most mentioned mistake the IRS people are saying. We ask IRS, okay, so what kind of mistake is the most popular mistake you see on the tax return? So we can turn around and tell our folks so they can pay attention to. So you know what that is? You would think it's really silly, but this is true. What happened is the most happen mistake at IRS is actually the name and the social security number. And the people just don't remember their social security number, or they just forgot they changed their name, or whatever happened. So you really want to make sure that your dependent's name, social security number, and their birthday, and your name, social security number, and the birthday, everything is right. And you cannot assume that, oh, I already have the information with IRS. This year, I'm just gonna be copying what I had before, and so everything should be the same. So, yes, maybe, but if you have a life change, you got married, you change your last name, and then that would come to haunt you if you did not get that updated, right? So just make sure that your name and your social security number is really the most important data. IRS would look immediately. If that have an error sign on it, the rest is useless. They don't really care what you got in there, and your return is going to be rejected. If you filed it yourself, the return rejection is not really clear to a lot of people, because it depends on your platform, whoever you use. So if you use, say, TurboTax, and it got rejected, and you will get a notice from TurboTax on your portal saying it's rejected, and it just depends on how it was set up. Our taxpayer didn't even know it was rejected until a lot later, when they started to submit the return to their lenders, because the loan officer wants their tax return. Then they realized that they never filed it, and nobody tell me it is filed. So those are the things, when you do it yourself, we want you to be vigilant about that. And if you run out of the tax time and you want to give yourself more time to prepare it, you can file extension, right? So for 1040, you file extension, this goes to October 15. And that will give you a lot of time to gather the final missing information, and it will give your time to really make sure that your return is being prepared and reviewed properly. We do have, it is becoming sort of the way I see it, because people can find my calendars on our firm's website, communitycpa.com. When you go there, if you click for appointment, if you come to my calendar, you know when I'm available, and then you can book my time. And I have quite a few clients. They become reoccurring clients because every year they're doing the same thing with me. So what they do is they actually finish their TurboTax return, and then they come to me and for me to review that with them. Because after they finish TurboTax, they have questions. So I would just come online. In that 45 minutes, we go through all the questions, then they can go ahead, file the return. So we do return review service as well. If you do it yourself, you feel like it's getting a little out of your hand, and you can just engage your professional, and not necessarily to be our firm, but we have 6 people on our appointment list. They are all partners. Every single one of them can help you. So you can book our time, then we come in to review that with you. And if you have other people who and do the same, they don't, if your sister-in-law is CPA, can review, have them review. It is just such a good practice to not just doing tax return on your own, then feel not right, but okay with the number, then you just file. It's a very temporary. If you really get into audit situation, it's just kind of hairy. It is not a very good way to manage your finance. And with that said, and I know you will say, how should I file extension? And if I file extension, am I just going to be subject to more audit? And there's no data proven that people who file extension would get audited more. Absolutely no. To the contrary, the data seems to suggest that if you file on time, you would be audited more. So, of course, this is all people manipulating IRS data and trying to come to a conclusion. Data speaks something, but may not be the truth, right? So I'm just saying to you that there is no proven data to say that if you file extension, you will be audited more. But there is data tendency to see that if you filed on time, you will be pulled out for audit more frequent, more possibility than otherwise. So for to file extension for 1040, and the form name is called 4868. Okay, for business is a form of 7004. So if you have a business, extension form is 7004. If it is 1040, it is 4868. And most extension requires request that you send in will be automatically honored. It is called automatic approval. IRS not going to send you a letter saying, congratulations, your extension is being approved. It is automatically honored. Okay, you do not have to explain to IRS why you do extension, and extension of the timely filed extension and would guarantee you to be okay to file in October 15 for your 1040. And however, extension doesn't grant you any more time to pay your taxes, right? So that's why at our firm, when we do data match for a client, you know how we need to file extension because we need to give IRS time to get all the information in. But we actually finish your tax return, make you to pay taxes that you need to pay, because this part extension doesn't extend. So you finish paying taxes and then we go for extension. So that's how extension is. Only extend you to file your return late, but doesn't extend you to pay your tax late. Okay? To avoid the penalty of late return, and that means you put your money in before when you file extension on time. And the penalty is about 5% on the unpaid tax amount each month. And a part of, you have this, if you don't file extension, you have a late return filing penalty, and you assume you didn't pay your taxes either, you owe money, then you would have late payment penalty, and then you will have a late estimate tax payment penalty if you were late for paid taxes last year as well. So don't play the late game. You can literally rack up 25% of penalty for yourself. It's quite significant. So with that said, I want to show you what we have on the slide. I put together the timeline to just remind you. So 1040 is from April 15 to October 15. When you file extension, you push that to October 15. Okay, 1120S and 1065, those are pass-through entity. They are from March, they're due on March 15, so you can push that to September 15. And the 1120C, that's a C corporation, it will be going with, if it is ending in December for C Corp, then you have that April 15 due date. If you file the extension, become October 15. Okay, so with that, I want to make sure that you are aware of your timeline, and this is pretty much the bulk of what we want to talk about today related to our presentation. And I want to now show you just quickly give you this slide, because if you have any subjects you want us to talk about, I want you to email Catherine at communitycpa.com. She's our marketing managers there, so she will put that together for us, so we know that what we need to talk about for the coming webinar. And I am showing you our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel, if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, you will have the notification from us every time when we talk about certain topics. And if you don't have time to participate at 3 p.m., 3 p.m., I don't know, we always just do it at 3. And maybe good, maybe not, maybe that's your nap time, so you never could make it. That's okay, because we deposit all of our webinar, like today, like this one, onto our YouTube channel. You literally can search. If you come over here, you see how I am at the magnifying glasses. if you just type in what you want to see, for example, if I just type in 1040, this is the tax return that all of us are working on right now, right? Then this will give you the 1040 things that we talked about, and you can really learn what you can do with the 1040. With that said, and I hope you find some good resources, and you also know how to connect with us on our website. I actually didn't have my website linked up for you. Our website is communitycpa.com. If you come to our website, you actually will see our appointment button. So this is where you come in and you pull up us and you can literally see our calendar. So if you click me and you look to see all the dates you want, see these are the dates available. It has a little kind of white space. So if you click 16th, it will tell you what time on my calendar is open. So you can book my time this way. Of course, you can book other partners' time this way too. The other partners we have on here, what they have is they have a free consultation section. For example, Dan. And Dan actually in charge of business consultation and advisory side of service. So you can see he has a free discovery session with Dan. So if you click this, you can look at his calendar, and then you can you can request for where you can go, because he's based in Minneapolis office. That's why you can do it in person or you can do on a video meeting. So these are kind of the convenience we give you as to help you to meet your needs right away, so you don't have to call, make appointment. It's just taking too much time, and this is a lot faster. And another way you can really become our client without making a huge big announcement with us, and you can literally come to onboarding with us. This is right here. You can sign up, and you can just click sign up, because you don't need to tell anybody. You can just sign up and use username, and you create your username, and then you give email and password, and then it will open up. I'm just gonna be silly and do one, see whether that would work. I'm just gonna create. It might take too long for me to create, but I want to show you how that works in our file. See, once you create, so I just kind of screwed it up, right? I just created whatever, I don't even remember anymore. But I come over here, and this is the name. I can change the name to my real name now because I used this email address. So I just changed that to Ying Testing. So that's my name. So I submit. So you can see that once I submit, and this place, if I refresh, it will show that my name is in testing right here. So I can start uploading things. See, we laid out what we need from you for you to become our client. Okay, so you can uploading this information. Then our onboarding people will be in touch with you. So this is what we call silent onboarding, and you don't have to make a big announcement, get hold of someone, then ask them, hey, can I become your client? And we do not tell our client that we don't need any more client. Everyone is our client. Everyone in United States of America, actually in the world, is our potential client. But we want you to be onboarding with us in any way you want it. So we call this onboarding, silent onboarding with us. And sometimes when you really got hold of us and decided to onboarding, made announcement, then we also have you go on here to fill up all the missing documents. So that way we can have your information into our file space. So I want to mention that to you just to show you that how much we want our service to be so easy at your fingertips. And we hope you feel the same way. And we will see you again at 3 p.m. Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday, 4 times a week. So Tuesday and Saturday are English time. So normally me or other partner, we come online, we speak English. And then Monday and Friday Our one is Spanish time, the other one, the Friday, is Chinese. So we have 3 languages on YouTube channel that you can find us. All right, I hope you enjoyed the chat with me, and I hope I offered some value to you. Subscribe to our channel and turn on the little bell and give me a thumb up if you like my talk, and we will see you again. Okay, bye-bye.